What's up, everybody? Welcome to Active Shooter. I'm here with my friend and fellow BMX video filmer, Tyler Fujii. And sorry if I got to keep going back to the phone. I should have memorized these questions.
It's a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's a lot of questions. So where do we start? Name, rank, serial number, basic information.
Like Jerry just said, my name's Tyler, 36, and from LA.
Okay. I guess that's where you currently live and where you're from.
I'm
right?
I'm from and live in a little city. It's called El Segundo. You've probably heard it in a Tribe Called Quest song. It's just south of the LAX airport.
All right. What brings us here? What mission were we on earlier today? Riding wise, spot wise,
Getting shut down?
Yeah, getting shut down.
Yeah, we were out trying to wrap up a full-length feature I've been working on with a bunch of guys for almost a decade, kind of in like the South Bay area of LA, LA County.
I can relate to that time frame because I've been dealing with something for going on a decade also. Who's in this project?
So there's a lot of people, but those who will have full-length parts in it, Eric Cooper, better known as Barney, Kelly Bolton, Eddie Saucedo, JJ Anderwald, Johnny Bonebright, and Andy Gregory, aka D-Boy,
Okay.
from New York.
And obviously this is your first solo project that you've been working on mostly by yourself. I'm sure other people helping you out. But what have you contributed to before this, or what have you worked on before this?
Like everybody, I just started out filming my friends. Probably the first time I really remember holding like a real camera was around the time of the Prop Scene Report. I think it was 72.
LA Scene Report.
Yeah, LA Scene Report, which was essentially the only real representation of LA, and even that was just a handful of people in terms of documenting the scene.
Okay.
Glenn Milligan, he had a VX 2100 at the time that he kind of let everybody use to get footage for that, and I just remember just dad camming it, didn't know what I was doing. Believe the very first thing I filmed was at the White Banks. It was of the homie Rob there, RIP to the White Banks. But yeah, it was just some random stuff for that, and then it wasn't until years later that I ended up getting my own camera. Believe it was the end of 2008. I had got a VX 1000.
Okay, VX1, MK1, right?
Yep.
Well, good setup. Not so good at night, but
Not so good at night, but
yeah.
definitely learned a lot with that camera.
And what got you into riding originally?
Riding for me, I was kind of a late bloomer. It wasn't until I was out of high school. So I had a friend that I went to high school with who he used to ride and he used to race, and ran into him at a community college we were going to, and he kind of mentioned like, hey, I heard you're interested in riding, and I mentioned that, yeah, it's something I was looking to get into. I skateboarded growing up, and then sports, I was basketball and baseball, but yeah, just look for something to do. And him and I, we went to X Games. The first year was in LA, so this was 2003. And for me, which is funny because I don't ride dirt at all, but it was seeing Aiken ride, practice, and ride the contest that kind of was like, this is something I really want to pursue. And then in terms of kind of defining what I rode moving forward, it was definitely the animal videos. I remember there was a premiere for All Day at a shop here on the west side, and that was just kind of it for me. I knew that's what I wanted to do, was just be in the streets.
That's it, all in, right?
Yep.
What about your homie that got you into riding? Is he still around anywhere at all? Does he ride?
Yeah,
trails?
he's still around. He's still local. His family lives in town where I live and work, so run into him from time to time, and he'll get out every now and then and cruise around, mainly just at parks, but yeah, he's still around.
All right, tell us.
Shout out to Trevor.
Trevor, what's going on? Let's go back to the LAX video. This will be like we said before, your first solo project.
Mm-hmm.
What? How did that come about? What was the motivation to get that project started?
Well, the motivation for me was kind of what I said earlier. Was the only thing that really showed the LA scene was that one scene report. I think it's like a 7.5 minute project. So it was that, and then just kind of being where we were. Kind of all of our friends are in all different parts of LA County, and I thought it'd be cool to document kind of the scene, the true scene, the kind of the locals. And the other concept with that too was that I did want to try to stay in LA County for the most part when filming for this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd say 99% of it will be LA County. But yeah, that was kind of my big motivation, was just to show the city through the eyes of the people who grew up here.
I gotta go with kind of a wild card question now.
Yeah.
What since the project started, I'm sure the roster has changed. Who's been basically from the beginning? Who's been in it steady from beginning to this point?
I mean, pretty much everyone's steady in it. It's just like the pack that's more my age is definitely, we got wives and kids and careers to focus on as well. So the ability to get out as much isn't quite as much. But pretty much everyone I named: Kelly, Barney, Johnny, Miles, Jake, Eddie. Although it can be a little tricky getting him out.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah, it's been a pretty solid, I'd say, dozen people that have been working on this throughout this whole time.
All right. Tell us about there was a BMX brand a few years ago, Cardinal Bikes, famous for the road bike dropout.
They worked. People hated on them, but they worked.
I think they had a video that they were working on something, right? And you had something. You were helping them in some capacity, right? With that project?
Yeah, I don't know like all the details of what was going on with them, but I know there was a transition with kind of the staff filmer that they had around the building, and it was just kind of the right place, right time. A few years prior to that, I'd got my first cameras, and everyone that was on that team they were all my friends. So I was just kind of always around, and it just kind of was like a natural fit to kind of help them out with a few things over the years.
It was an easy transition, right?
Yeah,
pretty much.
It really didn't feel like a job. I was just there with my friends documenting, so
okay,
it was a good time.
Tell us about I wouldn't say a hot topic, but your opinion on getting a full-time filmer job, filming BMX.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on that?
I mean, for me, I do have a full-time job. I work for a city. For me, the instability of filming full-time, and just, I mean, I don't want to discourage anybody, but if you're in a position in life that you want to travel and that's what you want to do, then I'd say go for it. Definitely have to be on it in terms of productivity. Cooper, my friend from Australia, I feel like that dude never sleeps. He works like 18 hours a day. But yeah, I mean, if you're in a place in life that it makes sense and you want to travel, I would say go for it.
Okay. Along with being the filmer, there's a couple responsibilities that come with that, right?
Oh yeah.
Finding spots, right?
Yep.
Kind of people have different opinions on like directing the rider, I guess. Like, let's say you see a spot and you say, oh wow, spot XYZ would be cool for this trick, or this rider could probably do something on this, as opposed to, and taking the rider there, as opposed to just picking the rider and then say, just look at it, blank canvas, right? Have it do whatever you think, you can, the best trick in your opinion for that spot.
Yeah.
What would, I veered off a little bit, but with the spot hunting, how does that fall into filming, into being a filmer?
I think it's one of those things that's just, I mean, especially now because we've been at this for so long, it's just kind of understanding everyone's personalities and their preferences when it comes to what they want to ride. And for me, I do want to find unique spots. I really try to veer away from the stuff that's more of like your traditional, the things that everybody thinks of when it's let's go ride LA. But I always try to be mindful of finding something that kind of everyone has a chance at riding, and of course there's going to be those times where it's something specific that for a guy that will work with whatever move they want to get done.
Okay. Next, let's see. Current. I'm sorry. I'm skipping. We're one ahead. Filming wise, everybody has their own style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether they copy someone's style or they figure out something that works for them, which is completely different than what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
What do you say? What would your style? What would you say is your style? Sorry for the stuttering. And how have you been influenced? Like what videos help you achieve your vision?
Yeah, I remember early on people would say that, oh, you're going to develop a style or you're going to have your style. And I thought, I was just confused by that because I'm like, we're all just holding a camera. Like, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say that I'm definitely, composition is important to me. I like symmetry when it comes to what I film. And just my biggest thing is being the least distraction part of whatever's being documented. I don't want that to be influencing what you're viewing. I want you just to see the writing.
Okay.
So that's I try to be almost invisible, I guess is the easiest way to put it when it comes to filming.
Less clutter.
Yep.
Less things to distract you from what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Any videos that currently your favorites or videos that you take little bits from, inspire you in any way?
Yeah, I guess stuff that's come out recently. The Jame kid from Barcelona. I got to catch a few sessions with him when he was here with the Cult guys, and it was I liked the video that they had made with him. Dakota and Nathan, the cinema video that just came out. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of respect for those guys because they definitely put in a lot of work in terms of finding spots and being consistent with the projects they put out. There's always something coming out all the time. So in terms of actual videos, I've been watching a lot of I've been watching a lot more old stuff, I guess you could call it, but Insight is one that I've been watching a lot. Mm-hmm. Just because they do ride our area quite a bit.
Okay.
And yeah.
Has it been an ABD situation, being that LA is not the biggest city, a lot of people come through here. Has there ever been any instances where someone's called something out or wanted to do something, but they just couldn't, John Doe already came through and did it. Has that happened at all? I could imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe once or twice.
I'd say it does, and that's a big reason, going back to what I said earlier about trying to find stuff that's a little more off the grid, mm-hmm. is just to avoid that situation. But I do the best I can to pay attention to everything that comes out. If I see someone mention that, most of what they had filmed wasn't from or in LA, just to kind of tune in to see what exactly they wrote. But I don't know how your opinion on this or how you feel about it, but I feel like it's just nearing that point of like, with Instagram, social media in general, it's real hard to keep up with.
Oh yeah.
What gets done where?
Yeah, I'm at a point back home. If somebody wants to do something, I'm just gonna let them go for it. Like I don't know who, I can't keep tabs on like who feebled this rail or who did the crook. If you want to do something, just go do it, and whatever, deal with the consequences later on, right? Because there's no fucking scoreboard to keep track of everything. Let's say, what are your favorite filmers that you like to follow, or projects they put out, or brands that you're into?
Yeah, I would say I've been pretty heavily influenced by my friends, you being one of them. So Jerry is one of them. Cooper Brownlee out in Australia, he's another one for me. Glenn Milligan, he's one early on that was definitely an influence with him doing all the ride stuff at the time of me kind of getting into all this, and he's definitely looked out for me with some opportunities outside of riding, which was really cool.
Okay.
Skateboarding's also had a pretty big influence on me. Ty Evans is one that comes to mind. Fully Flared was probably like the defining, like, I need to get a camera and start documenting my friends, especially with Guy's part and him coming back to skateboarding. But him, John Miner, Mike Manzuri,
lots of heavy hitters.
Good mix of both.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. Being this video that you're working on, do you plan on making physical DVDs, or will this be online only?
I mean, I am old, man. I would like to. I think having tangible copies of things is nice. Just in terms of those nerds that, like, including myself, who like to collect. Definitely have some friends. Obviously, right now traveling is kind of weird, but definitely have some friends that either are not in this country or in a different state. So try to figure that out as we get closer to that point. But probably a balance of each. I would like to offer a physical copy, but we put so much time into it. I want everyone to be able to see it as well.
Yeah, of course.
So,
what do you think is the future? How do you, in your opinion, of full length video, DVD versus online, or full length video in general?
Yeah, so this is a conversation that Andy and D-Boy and I have all the time. And there was, I can't remember what skate video premiere it was, but I remember someone had asked Tony Hawk about a web part that came out, and I forget whose part it was. I should have done my research, but his comment was essentially, well, what you're calling it a video part, but what is it a part of? It's just one guy, and it's just going straight to the internet. So I'm not in a spot where it's like it needs to be all or nothing. I think that social media and the internet has its place, but I do appreciate those who still value taking the time to, yourself, Joey, Bob, who still take that time to put together full-length projects, because at the end of the day, there is crazy writing we see all the time on the internet, but it's whatever size of your phone, as soon as that thing swipes up, it's gone.
Oh yeah, it's gone in like...
I mean, I've never heard someone say, I need to go back to so-and-so's Instagram from 2017 and get hyped to ride today by watching a post they put up from 4 years ago. So
what that's true, that's very true. What let's switch gears a little bit.
Yeah.
What your current setup, camera wise, like tool wise, how do you get around? What do you keep in your car? Are you into modifying, fixing spots, or what's
I'm not the Bondo guy like you were.
Yeah, no.
I heard about the van when you had the van going, but I definitely try to keep it simple. Still, somehow my bag weighs 45 pounds. I don't know how,
heavy.
but early on, kind of transitioning from the VX to when kind of was the wave of everyone going high definition. I wasn't crazy about the look of DSLR footage when that really started to be more prevalent, and I found the Panasonic, the mirrorless line, to be pretty effective and small and lightweight. And I've basically been rocking with those mainly for just the consistency, the look of everything throughout this whole project. I've definitely wanted to upgrade. But yeah, I keep it simple. I have 2 camera bodies from the GH line.
what do you shoot with? Which ones?
Primarily, like, my main camera is a GH3,
Mhm.
and then like the static one, or just time lapse or whatever, it'd be like a GH2.
Okay.
That was the very first one I had gotten.
GH2. Do you hack it? You know how to hack it? You get the download the firmware onto the memory card, plug the memory card in, and basically just transfer that onto the camera, and it
No, I haven't done that.
higher bit rate. Yeah.
Does it help?
It's still, yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
But
We could talk about it.
yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
off camera conversation.
Yeah.
Filming wise, how do you set up your shots? Are you more
Yeah.
of nail everything in camera, color correction, shutter, not color correction, but white balance, shutter speed, and everything, or are you just point and shoot and more on the computer? What's your workflow typically?
Yeah, for me, and probably a lot of it comes from the analog photography side of things, I really do my best in terms of scene and situation to make it look as accurate to whatever the conditions are on that given day. I don't want to say that I shoot flat, but I'd say I definitely don't. The look of overprocessed photos and footage, just personally, I'm not into it. I know some people, from an artistic sense, may enjoy that, but I try to get it as close as I can in the camera, and if there are some tweaks that need to be made in post-production, then I'll do it, but again, I try to keep it as minimal as possible.
All right. And do you have a set routine, or let's say Monday is a filming day, Wednesday is a spot day, Thursday is a skate park day? How do you manage? What's your productivity been like recently with this project, with the video?
Yeah, with work, balancing work and family, and that's another thing too, is that you can relate to having your job with the city. It's just, we'd all love to be out every single day and have every opportunity, but
yeah,
we do have to work, unfortunately. So it's just finding that balance between work, family, friends, and then getting out, being productive in terms of filming. So generally, I would say we would shoot for a day or two of riding during the week, maybe a park day just to feel comfortable or to work on some things. Mm-hmm. If anybody within the crew wants to try to get something on a weeknight, I'm always down for that mission. And then I'd say the weekends, probably Sundays for us throughout this span of working on this project has been the day.
Sunday shred day, right?
Sunday shred day, yeah. Early morning coffee, ride, and then our friend JJ, he loves ice cream, so it's got to be dinner and dessert. Yeah, we treat ourselves on Sunday.
Okay, what about obviously all these different people? Not everybody has the same schedule, right? So let's say maybe somebody might be available only Tuesdays, Wednesdays, right? Maybe somebody's available just one day a week. Maybe someone just during the morning. How does that? I don't want to say if a certain person takes priority over somebody else, just because maybe their time may be limited. But how has that happened? Have you had to deal with that?
I'd say for anybody who's going to tackle the projects like this, of this nature, or just full lengths in general, it definitely takes a lot of patience and understanding. And by understanding, it's just understanding kind of everyone's routines and what they've got going on as well. You do need to be available. You have to be available. If Eddie gets 3 hours on a Thursday night and he can break out, and there's something we've been wanting to do, or he's wanted to do for a couple of years, then you got to make it happen.
Couple of years, that's a long.
Well, there's some spots that you got to come back to.
Hopefully the spot's still there, right? By the time you get to it. Well, this is New York. It's not a.
No, I would say when people see this video, I have a feeling people are gonna hit me up and say, "Hey, where's that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that was 2015. That's not there anymore."
Yeah, it's a little. My experience has been kind of difficult to make time with everybody, just because a lot of people are, first, inconsistent, and second of all, nobody wants to waste anybody's time, right? Because we're not paying anybody to do this. It's like, all right,
we're not making a killing with this either, too.
Yeah, it's like, all right, if you got things to do, cool, but I'm not gonna force you to come out and try to do something. I'll call you once or twice and send you a text, but after that, it's on you. If you want to make the effort to go on and film the clip, then we'll make it happen. If not, then let it be. And then sometimes that kind of works against you, because now they're trailing. They're like falling behind on footage. They're falling behind on usable footage, right? Because you can film 10 things, but only 3 of them might be, all right, we're going to use these things.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want to have to rely on it.
And for me too, it's always trying to keep it kind of fresh in everyone's mind. I know that if I see certain people do certain tricks social media wise, I'll definitely try to share that their way, just to kind of remind them of like, hey, don't think I forgot about this. But it's also that balance too of like, you don't want to push people. Like if they're not interested or they just don't want to do it. I've never wanted someone to feel like they have a gun to their head. It's not their job.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But it's also kind of on the filmer to understand their capabilities and where they are in life, in terms of tricks, and just
With that being said, what keeps you motivated? Like sometimes people don't show up, they don't answer the call. You go out for a week or 2 weeks and won't get anything, no clips. What keeps you going?
For me, I think being consistent is very important. It's, as you know, it's very easy to get frustrated or I don't know, just feel like it's kind of going nowhere. But those few weeks you take off, say you take a month or whatever, it's that much easier for them to make that excuse of like, well, I don't know if you're going to be around or available.
Yeah.
So for me, it's definitely staying consistent and just being available. Speaking
of taking a month off with the COVID thing last year, how was that? Productive wise, were people scared to come out, or were people motivated to come out? Because the world's, everybody's home, so it's kind of like open season on spots.
I mean, I feel like as a whole, as a group, we definitely did our best to be safe and be responsible about everything that was going on. I mean, to me, it is a real thing that was taking place. But I want to say this was March 18th of last year was the stay-at-home order, and then it was probably June was the first, like early June was the first time we started kind of bringing back the weekly routine of getting out. It was kind of crazy because there's a lot of stuff that we rode that normally was just not going to happen. You were getting, as soon as they see you, they're kicking you out. So it was kind of cool to get some opportunities to ride some spots like that. But I don't know how it was for you in New York. But
no, we try to take advantage as best we could. We go to a spot and the guard would come out and be like, we're going to stay here. You can call the cops because they're not going to come for, like, till tomorrow because, like, people are rioting, people are fucking dying, like people jumping on a ledge in front of a fucking performing arts center is the last thing.
Yeah, they got bigger stuff to do.
Yeah, so we took advantage the best we can. Sorry, security guard, but we got to eat. We got to do what we had to do. What we had to do. Speaking of, since you mentioned earlier, everything is mostly LA based. What other cities have you been to film for this? Traveling?
Yeah. Traveling wise, because we've wanted to, well, I guess it's more my direction, but because I've wanted to keep it so within the county, I honestly haven't done a lot. It's something that I'll just need to either get over or just get heavily sedated, but I hate planes. So we pretty much, the last 10 years have just stayed around here. I'd say in the last couple of years though, we have tried to do little like weekend to 5-day excursions within California. So we've done San Diego, the Ventura area is pretty cool, Santa Barbara, and right before kind of everything shut down, we were in San Francisco. Yeah.
I was jealous. I felt left out.
You and D-Boy need to go.
I felt left out of that one.
You guys would really like it.
Okay, with that being said, also in the field, right, dealing with, even here in LA, but other cities, of course, right, dealing with everything that comes up when you're trying to ride and film a clip somewhere, right? People, security guards, weather, mental breakdown, people, you know, what's your process with that? How do you deal with that?
For me, I think it's just understanding the environment you're in. Kind of what's interesting to me, at least in LA, I don't want to speak for New York or anywhere else, but I feel like the more affluent or kind of the nicer an area is, it seems like the people are more interested in what you're doing versus, hey, you're destroying that ledge or that handrail or whatever. I think for that, in terms of the people that live in those communities, it's just about being respectful to their neighborhoods, the drinking, the smoking, the leaving the trash out, that kind of thing.
No, of course,
Just being mindful of that. I remember being out during the Cardinal days with Jeremy Pavia, and we were riding a very famous spot in downtown LA, the police station, or the Jason Lee Banks. And of course, it's a police station, so the cops came rolling out. One of them was just pissed, like, what are you guys doing here? I'm always having to come out here and kick you guys out. It was probably the 4th or 5th time we'd gone there for a particular mission, but his answer was kind of the one that I heard and I just have stuck with, and it's just, we're just a group of friends and we're just out here filming. Just because I feel like with law enforcement, they just feel like, oh, you guys are doing this for money and you're destroying our property at the same time. So I think, once my bag got heavy too, the thought of running away, or when you have all that gear out, lights out, setup, it's just, what am I gonna run from? It's pointless.
Yeah, if I'm set up, I'm not running. I'm like, hey, look, I'm an adult. Here. Let me just this is what we're doing. Exactly. Can we finish or what? Yeah,
we know we're not supposed to be here. We'll pack up and we'll leave. I feel like I've seen a lot. I don't want to pigeonhole skateboarding or say skateboarding specifically, but you'll see a lot of B-roll or just even out in the field, you'll see skaters and they'll just freak the fuck out because I feel like they just want that, they want that B-roll moment of that interaction with a security guard, a cop, or whatever. Yeah. And it's just, if you want to go back to that spot, that's a good way of you showing back up and it's no longer skatable or rideable anymore.
Yeah, that's I agree with you on that, and I think some people might disagree and say, oh well, we're just trying to capture as they're trying to show you that.
That's what happens. There's definitely that element of it. Yeah,
they want you to experience the session, right? as if you were there. So
Yeah.
whatever, throwing the water at the whatever,
Yeah.
whatever fucking crazy shit happens.
I mean, and with all of us too, I just feel like we all know. I mean, we all have full-time jobs that we need to go to every day, so we just understand they're not out there for their own enjoyment. It's always a funny thing too when there's like a large group of us where you just see that security guard just kind of pacing in the background of like, how am I gonna start this? Because like me saying how's it going like that, we're not trying to be your friend, but yeah, it's just being kind of aware of all that. And I mean, to me, we've had a pretty good success rate of being respectful, leaving, and then a couple weeks down the road or whatever it is, coming back, and not being an issue.
Okay. Also, one thing I wanted to touch on, actually maybe we'll come back to that, but what after this video's done, any future plans? Another full length, or maybe working with people on individual things, or retirement, or
put the jersey in the rafters.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever comes next is definitely not going to take 10 years. There's definitely been a lot of ideas that I do have, but this is just taking priority. I mean, there's too many people that I want their footage to be out there at this point. So there will definitely be a few things, definitely have a shorter time frame, more of like the 6 month to a year kind of thing. And just in terms of, and you've dealt with it too with filming full lengths, it's just whoever wants to, just kind of give it a time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wants to put in the work, then great. If you just want to get a couple things, cool. If you're Jake and you want to sit at the spot and just talk shit to everybody, you can do that too.
That's riding. That's still bike riding.
Yeah, it's still bike riding.
Your bike is
you
there.
Really, I mean, with us, you really don't even have to ride. You can just come out and you'll be fine. It's LA, so we drive to every spot. Anyway,
that's still riding, everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
It is.
All right, so before we finish up here, any tips, anything you want to tell the people out there, any kids, anybody that is thinking of doing this, I guess, right? Full time, right?
Yeah.
Or take this hobby seriously. What tips or suggestions would you give anybody out there watching?
I mean, for me, I'd say not just for filmers, photographers, or just anybody in general. Always have a camera on you. Like in actuality, we all do because we all have phones in our pockets. But I think it's some of the best stuff you can get is just those candid moments where you weren't planning on going out and filming. It's just maybe you went out to a bar or an interaction at a food spot or anything like that. And just always just be available.
Right. Always document, right?
Yeah,
basically?
you gotta capture everything.
All right, so we're gonna go into the bonus round.
People ask questions.
Yeah, we got questions. We got a couple questions here. Let's set it off with this fellow Miles with glasses.
Might have heard of him.
He asked, "What is your favorite Oriental dish?"
He worded like that. So Miles, I'll see you when you get back from Mexico.
All right, so we'll put N/A, right? Not applicable for that one.
Well, I'll explain to him in person.
Okay, pedal through life. What's good? I'm chilling, man. Tyler, what's good? What's going on?
Not much, man. Here with you.
All right, 310 Barney. Oh, we got a double dip question here. When's the video coming out? Question mark.
So with our group of friends, we do have a group chat. I've essentially told them that if it does not come out, the group chat is also, it's named September 2019 for full disclosure. Because I was like, yeah, it's going to come out in 2019.
Put the fucking countdown on the thing.
On the stories?
Yeah.
It's going to come out this year.
Do a Lakai.
We're doing the best we can to... It's one of those things, especially when you put this much time into it, where you'd like to get... I mean, obviously everyone's had enough time. No one can say, oh, there's only a little more time to do this. But I would like to try and connect with as many of the people who are going to have the full-length parts as possible, get a few last things to kind of finish it off, and it's coming out in 2021, Barney, I promise.
You heard it here. 2-minute warning starting now, so everybody get your shit together. Yeah. We got Pat Freen. Nice to meet you yesterday, Pat. You're a nice guy. When is the LAX video dropping? Please.
2021.
2021, okay.
Yeah.
Our current year.
Yeah.
And JJ Anderwall writes, favorite ice cream spot?
He would put me on the spot.
So,
JJ is the one I talked about earlier who loves he loves his frozen desserts. Right now, I would say it's a spot, it's Santa Barbara based. It's called McConnell's. There is one in the Palisades, so not too far from here. In terms of local, and I think you guys have them in New York. I think it's pronounced Van Leuven. There's a couple that have popped up around here.
I think I'm more of a just Haagen-Dazs.
Just basic,
yeah, just
simple.
straight, yeah. Maybe some of the gelato.
Well, JJ's real fancy, so
okay,
he
yeah.
likes, yeah.
No, I can't pay more than even the fucking $7 for the Haagen-Dazs. I'm like, come on, man, what am I doing? But you gotta treat yourself, right? Don't cheat yourself.
That's right.
All right, so that's it for now, right? Tyler, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
And LAX Studios for hosting me, you know. If anybody has any other questions or whatever, I'm sure there'll be a little comment thing because I'm putting this on YouTube and Vimeo or whatever. Okay. So anything else you guys want to mention, put it in the comment box, and I'll get back to Tyler. We'll do our best to answer it. And that's it. We're signing off for now. See you later.